And welcome back. From sport injuries to the wonders of rooibos tea, we now go to something really sublime. Is it sublime? I don't know. Well, we're going to be talking about the wonders of natural birthing, and to talk us about all of those wonderful things, natural birthing and hypnobirthing and everything else that goes with it, is Theone Papoutsis. And she's going to unpack everything we've ever wanted to know about natural birthing. Theone, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you here. Tell me, you're going to be talking to us about hypnobirthing, natural birthing, conscious birthing,
Yes.
call it what you like, but it's really about natural birthing. How did you become involved in this?
Gosh, I became involved in this many years ago, over 20 years ago, where I studied aromatherapy and reflexology, kind of alternative healing, and a friend of mine said she was having a home birth and would I like to be there. So that's how my journey began, and then I was there when my niece was born and another friend, and that's how I just began exploring this option of how to support women. And when I did my aromatherapy and reflexology, it was always about pregnancy and how can I best support women through that process. So it's kind of evolved where I've now teach hypnobirthing, I teach pregnancy yoga the last 16 years, moms and babes yoga, where they actually bring their babies with after they've had them and they do yoga with their babies. So I really prepare women for motherhood.
Okay.
So whether it's getting pregnant, being pregnant, or becoming a mother and all the demands of becoming a mother.
You say you help women get into womanhood,
Yes, motherhood. Yes.
motherhood, birthing, etc. Can you help them to fall pregnant?
Yes, I have. I have helped
How do you
many
do that?
women.
Because there are lots of young women
Yes.
who are desperately trying to fall pregnant, or young couples, and they are truly battling.
Yes. So what I do is there are people that can, medically, your fertility clinics, there are people that can do that sort of role. What I do, whether it's getting pregnant or being pregnant or motherhood, is it's about your unique package of what is it that you need. And I look at the emotional and the mental states.
So you assess them, you have a
Yes.
session with them and
Yes.
assess and kind
Exactly.
of check their history.
Exactly. And then I'll go, okay, so what's been happening? How long have you been trying to fall pregnant, etc., etc.? Or maybe she's got one baby and she really wants another one and something's not happening. And then we would do something called a birth release, where we would look at the last birth experience. What happened? What is there something that she's possibly holding on to or fearful about or whatever? And we sort that all out.
You work around that. You say you sort all that out.
Yes.
How do you do it?
So I've got different tools that I use. So obviously, like with the hypnobirthing, yes, it's hypnosis, but it's actually relaxation. So all hypnosis is relaxation.
Okay, before we get to the
Yes.
hypnobirthing,
Yes.
let's just understand the moms that are battling to fall pregnant.
So I would use hypnosis, which is
Okay.
basically relaxation. So how can they become more relaxed? How can they connect with their breaths? How can they connect with their bodies? Because getting pregnant is a body thing. It's not a head thing. I also use neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, again, to work out how is it that their brain works and how can we create lasting change. So it is unique to each person.
So basically you try to get them to a very positive frame of mind
Yes.
and try and release whatever is that's
Standing in the
blocking
way.
those positive thoughts.
Yes.
When we talk about hypnobirthing, immediately you mention the name hypno and
Yes.
hypnotherapy
And we
people.
go,
Because it's such an alternative idea
Yes.
that people don't, because of what we've been exposed to, silly tricks on stage, etc., and
Yes.
people seeming to think that someone else has the control over their minds. What exactly is hypnobirthing? Because it's not all of that nonsense, is it not?
No, it's absolutely none of that. So hypnosis is deep relaxation. So have you ever been staring into a fire and you kind of get lost or you daydream? That's a form of hypnosis. So it's really just getting you into a relaxed space. The more relaxed a woman is in her pregnancy, in her birth, the chances are the hormones are going to work effectively. She's not going to stand in the way of the process. She's going to trust her body and therefore have a natural birth. So that's really in a nutshell what it is. And obviously you need to know how the hormones work. You need to do the practice, you need to do the breathing so that you can become relaxed and remain present.
A lot of women and girls are terrified of the actual birthing process. A lot of them opt for Caesars. C-sections have become very, very
Yes.
popular, to the detriment, I think, of their own
Absolutely.
health. How do you get them into that very relaxed frame of mind, and what are the different natural birthing methods available, and where are they practiced?
Okay, that's a big question. Okay, so, women, it's really their choice, because I feel like it's their body and it's their choice and they've got to choose. So if a woman wants a natural birth, then they would come to someone like me, where I would prepare them. If they're wanting a cesarean, I could also let them have a more conscious, confident cesarean. And I have clients who've had to go that route. Then have all the information. See if you can't go into labor, so that we know baby's lungs are ready, so that we know baby's ready, chosen its birth date, etc. So it depends on where the woman is and what that is she wants. So I believe in natural birth. I think that bodies were designed to have babies. That's why we were put here. The fear comes from what we were told. So what did our parents tell us? What did our aunties? Do you think of exactly women's anxiety? Okay, you need to have the baby now. It's like, what? Whereas if you look at the previous generation, my granny, who's now would have been 100 and something, she had all the babies at home. So that's really how we were having babies, and that's how babies really should come. But now things have changed. We have technology, we have hospitals, and the only time you go to a hospital when there's something right is to have a baby. Mm-hmm. All other times there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm. So where do you practice from, and how different are you to a doula? Because you're sitting and talking
I am a doula.
to me. Oh, you are a doula.
As well.
Okay, and then you need to explain what a doula is.
So a doula is there for emotional and logistical support. So I'm there to hold the husband and the wife, and if there's children, to hold them in a space of, this is what we're going to do, and this is the plan, and how to get them through it. It's like I say, if you're going to climb a mountain, are you going to take a guide, or are you going to try and go on your own and see how it goes? So I'm there to say to them, okay, now it's a steep hill. Now it's steep. This is hard. This is when you need to focus. This is how you need to breathe. Let's do this position. So I'm gently guiding the two of them.
Talking them through the entire process.
Are they eating? Are they drinking? Has she gone to the bathroom? All of those kinds of things all the time, to ensure that the environment is conducive, the environment in her body and the environment, to be able to have a birth.
You know, this whole stage that you're setting for them,
Yes.
and it sounds like a very comforting stage that
Yes.
you're setting. What's it doing for mom, dad and baby when baby's eventually born?
Babies are definitely calmer. They're more relaxed. They're more connected. It's so important to take time in your pregnancy to connect with this baby. Because whether you're connecting or not, this baby knows. And there is communication happening without you being aware of it.
Okay.
So it's better to make it conscious than to just go, oh, well, let's see.
All right, let's take an ad break. I'm talking to Theone Paputsis. She is a doula, a conscious birthing sister. Is it sister that we refer to you as?
No.
No, just by your name?
Yes.
Okay. And she's into all of these natural birthing methods that she's talking to us about this morning. And if you'd like to know more or where she's located, I think her email address or her website would be scrolling on the screen as we speak. But she is based in Johannesburg at the Genesis Clinic in Parktown. And of course, you can get in touch with her or any other person practicing at that clinic. And the nice thing she tells me is that you don't necessarily have to go to the clinic. Depending on the option you choose, the birthing option that is, she could even deliver babies at home. So you can call in if you want further information or to talk with her directly on air. But first, let's pay the rent. We're talking to Theone Paputsis. She is from the Conscious Birth Clinic, which is obviously the Genesis Clinic in Parktown. We're talking hypnobirthing and a whole host of other natural birthing methods. And if you'd like to know more, do give us a call or perhaps just visit their website directly. Now, I see here on the pamphlet we talk about conscious birth. Is that your logo?
That's my company name, yeah.
Your company name.
Yes.
And the link to the Genesis Clinic?
I teach there. That's where I teach the hypnobirthing classes, is at Genesis Clinic.
Okay. So if someone's just fallen pregnant now, yes, and she decides this is the route I want to go,
yes,
or perhaps she's way into her pregnancy, what does she do? And she wants to go this natural birthing way. What does she do? Please help.
Well, definitely she would need to contact me, and then I would have an initial appointment with her just to see where is she at her pregnancy, what preparation has she done so far, and to fill in the gaps of what needs to be done. So I work with people obviously to do the hypnobirthing course, to get their minds prepared as well as their body. So physically getting ready, emotionally getting ready for that there's actually a person coming into their life. Preparing the partner as well, of, you know, how does he want to be involved? Does he not want to be involved? How is that going to work? And then to work hypnobirthing, I also do kahuna massage.
What is kahuna massage?
Kahuna is a Hawaiian massage. So it's like the yoga. It's got 5,000 years of history behind it. So it's a beautiful way of bringing into the body preparation. So preparing her for the birth that she needs to. So releasing any blocks in the system on a physical level.
So while she's pregnant, doesn't matter whether she's in the first, second or third trimester, you then actually perform some sort of massage technique on her body.
Yes.
Is there no fear of any damage to baby or to her?
Nothing. It's a lovely way for them to connect, and it's a very flowing, comforting, soothing massage.
What does it do for baby?
Well, babies love it. As soon as I put my hands on the mom, the babies start moving. Moms can feel, babies start going, this is nice. So of course it calms her down, it relaxes her, and if she's calm and relaxed, we have a calm and relaxed baby.
How important is postnatal massaging?
Very important.
And again, when mom comes to you, what happens to baby in the interim?
So for a postnatal massage, I actually visit the client's home.
Right.
And baby is there, lying in the bed, lying next to the bed, wherever. And if mom needs to breastfeed, we stop. We breastfeed, we carry on. And it's a lovely way to just bring her back into her body, because it can be an out-of-body experience where a lot has gone on in the labor and stuff has happened where she now needs to consolidate and, okay, so now I am a mother and I need to look after this child, and how can I bring myself towards myself again? Because hormones are all over the place as well.
Fiona, despite your best laid plans and efforts in helping mom have a natural birth as possible, things could go wrong even in the natural birthing process. How do you help mom and baby, because it's traumatic for baby as well, and dad, maybe he's standing by as well. What happens after the birth, and how long after the birth do you start engaging with them to get everybody in a very calm and happy space?
Again, you know, everybody's unique and individual, but usually the sooner the better. So when a client has had her baby and she's had a cesarean section that she didn't really want, I usually see them the next day if I was her doula, or else within the first week after birth, just to talk about it and to come to terms with, okay, so what did really happen? Did I do my best? What was it that happened? Because at the end of the day, we're not in control. So yes, mom can be as open as possible, as open wide a vessel as possible, open heart, open body. We want to get baby in the best position, and then it's the creator as well that plays a part. So it's the creator,
He's the
it's
best
mom
of
and baby, exactly. So those three elements come together, and ultimately, you know, baby decides when it wants to and how it wants to come.
If there's been some trauma, even in a natural birth, after baby is born, what sort of work do you do with mom to get her in the right frame of mind?
So I would do like a birth release with her to get over what happened at the birth, what did I do wrong, what did I do right, how do I come to terms with this? And again, if I've worked with her through her pregnancy, I would know what works best for her on how to do that. Another modality which is lovely, which I'm currently studying, is craniosacral therapy, which again is, you know, a long thing, but it's absolutely beautiful for babies, especially if there's been trauma.
So what exactly is it, and how do you work with baby and mom?
So craniosacral is, you've got your cranium and you've got your sacrum, and it's like you feel your heart beating or your pulse. We would feel that craniosacral rhythm in the body, and it's very strongly linked to the nervous system, and especially the central nervous system, the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So we work at getting balance in those systems so that babies can be more relaxed and release any trauma just by holding.
Theone, what are we saying or what are we not saying by way of this interview? I'm thinking of a young girl watching us possibly going to be having her first baby in a couple of months' time, with this horrible fear that she's going to be experiencing a lot of pain. And a lot of us have been through that horrible experience. Are you saying that by preparing them through the kahuna massage, we're also going to talk about the yoga that they can attend whilst they're pregnant, by talking with them, clearing their minds, bodies, souls, just getting them in a very relaxed frame of mind, that they're not going to experience any pain when they're birthing?
I'm not saying that they're not going to experience pain, but they're going to reframe how they're looking at it. So 99% of my clients who have had natural births say that they couldn't call it painful. It was powerful and it was intense and it was really hard at times, but it wasn't pain. So again, it's not the body sensation that creates the pain, it's what you are thinking about the sensation that's happening. If that makes sense.
That makes perfectly good sense.
So if you're thinking, I'm in pain, it's also easy to go into victim.
Mind over matter.
I need to be saved. Oh, I'm pain. So, whereas it's intense. You've done intense in your life, whether it's been emotionally or physically, you've done intense. So it's like, okay, this is intense, but how do I keep going? I focus on my breathing. I keep my body relaxed. I soften my body. I welcome my baby. I know that each surge or contraction is bringing me, that's one step closer to having my baby in my arms. To remember that my baby is doing this, not only me, but my baby is doing this. We are doing this together. We're finding our way together. Instead of just, this is happening to me, I'm a victim.
And screaming like mad.
Exactly. And I don't have women who do that.
Okay. Now, does this birthing method involve water births? Does it mean that whoever comes to you are going to be engaged in a water birthing method?
Not necessarily. Obviously, we know that water birth is lovely. And why? Because think about, you've had a hard day, you lie in a nice warm bath, how nice you feel. So that is why we use the water. I call it an aquadural. Instead of an epidural, it's an aquadural. So they say also 60% less pain because it makes women feel weightless. And being pregnant, you can feel very heavy and tired and all of that. So what that does is it lets you feel weightless, and then you can also relax and become like water. Fluid, flowing, soft, and allow babies to be born. So whether a woman chooses water like that or not, it makes no difference. It's what she feels. And I have women who want water births, they got their heart set on it, you get them in the water, they go, no, I don't like being in the water.
So at the 11th hour, they then get out the water, so and then you do. Know. Are you prepared for an alternative birthing method?
Yes.
What would that be?
So then that would be an active birth, being active. So working with the body. How does my body want to be? Do I want to be upright? Do I want to be on my hands and knees? Do I want to be squatting? What position do I feel like my body wants to be? Because your body knows what to do. We need to listen to it. So a big part of what I do with the yoga, with the massage, with the antenatal classes before, it's to prepare them to tune into their bodies and their babies.
And how important is all of this preparation to the safe and beautiful experience of a natural birth?
I think it's essential. That's why I do it. And
Brilliant.
I love it.
Just to let you know that my daughter-in-law just given birth to a beautiful little doll 2 weeks ago, and she went the water birth method, and she said to me it was wonderful. She thoroughly enjoyed it. Your closing thoughts on the show this morning?
Thank you for having me, and I wish that every woman had access to having a beautiful birth, whatever she wants that to be, and I wish that she would just take time to think about what it is that I want, not what you don't want, because if you focus on what you don't want, you end up getting that. So you want to focus on what do you want, and then how do I do that? And that's what I do, is help people to achieve that.
The power of positive thinking. Theoni Paputsis, thank you indeed for being with us. And you from a company called Conscious Birth. That's the name of your little...
And my website.
Your website. So it's Conscious Birth.
Yes.
Right. So if you want to know more about a safe, happy, wonderful birthing method, get in touch with Theoni Paputsis. She's with Conscious Births, and you will find her on the website. And that brings us to the end of the show this morning. I thoroughly enjoyed being here, and I sincerely hope you did too. Thank you for your time. And let's wrap up with our thought of the day, which is, by being yourself, you put something in the world that was not there ever before. A big thank you to the production team and to all of the wonderful guests we had on the show this morning. Till Wednesday morning at the same time as always, Khuda Hafiz from me, Julie Ali. Ya hala, 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 ya hala.
ويا هلا يا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا حن قلبي على جمعة الخير هلا حن قلبي على جمعة الخير هلا يا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا يا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا يا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا ويا هلا يا